This is the new Huawei flagship Pura 80 Ultra, and odd camera designs are all the rage right now. And this definitely gives us something to talk about. And once again, Huawei don't disappoint when it comes to producing one of maybe the best phones of the year. And despite its lack of Google services and the lack of ease of setting them up,
no Google Play services, just can't set them up on this thing at all.
I spent the last few days testing out the Prestige Gold version that definitely sometimes looks silver, and its camera alone could just tempt you to pick this phone up. And if you just ignore my tired face, it's been a long few days, I'm going to test the Pura 80 Ultra.
I think we're about to eat on this boat, which, if true, is a little bit like the Real Housewives.
I feel like Chinese phones have been shown as what is possible with 1-inch sensors for quite a while. So the Oppo Find X8 Ultra, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, and Huawei are following suit. They have a main 50 megapixel 1-inch sensor that has a variable aperture, so it can go from f1.6 to f4. And I didn't have a huge amount of time with this phone at all, so I just tried to take as many photos and videos as possible to show you exactly what this can do. And it is wildly impressive. When you're outside, it captures some great detail in these bright, sunny conditions of Dubai, and the dynamic range I think is probably one of the best I've seen in a very long time. And I took a few shots comparing this to my daily driver, the S25 Ultra, just to show you the difference here, and there really is just one clear winner. On the face of it, I don't think the photos are massively different, but when you start to look at it a little bit clearer, the Pura 80 Ultra just captures much better details. It handles colors better and more accurately, and I think overall, personally, it just gives you a much better photo.
And Huawei made a big deal about the Pura 80 Ultra at night, saying its 1-inch sensor should really capture some good true-to-life pictures. And you know what? They're not wrong, especially when you compare it to the S25 Ultra.
You can see from the main lens comparing it to the S25 Ultra, this captures much more light, the colors again are more accurate, and there just isn't as much noise in the photo from the Pura 80 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. It is really impressive what Huawei are doing.
This is what I call it is that. Look at that. I don't know what it is, but it looks delicious.
And on the video, the Pura 80 Ultra, it really is up there. It can do 4K 60, so no 4K 120 or 8K, but I can live without that. And it produces some pretty impressive video in both low light and daylight. In daylight, the image is sharp. It handles dynamic range really well, and my favorite thing is that it's got some gimbal-like stabilization. And even in low light, that 1-inch sensor means it can just grab some pretty impressive shots of either some fish in an aquarium or this far too fancy boat ride down the middle of Dubai. But you can see the difference here from the S25 Ultra and the Pura 80 Ultra. But then you switch to the Ultrawide on the Pura 80 Ultra, and it's a bit of a different story. For nighttime photography, I wouldn't say that the Ultrawide is actually that great, and it's quite noisy and it doesn't capture as much detail as you would really want. But then again, using it in the middle of the day, it gives you some really nice wide shots that are perfect for doing either like a little vlog on video or just trying to grab as much in the frame as possible. And that 40 megapixel f2.2 lens, I do think in the day does give you a nice photo, and there's definitely some distortion around the closer parts of the image, but the details it captures are pretty great. And again, comparing it to the S25 Ultra, I do think the S25 Ultra's 50 megapixel lens stacks up here. I feel like there's more details on the closer part of the image, but the Pura 80 Ultra definitely holds better detail in further away subjects. So it's a little bit of a, you pick what you like here. The standout feature though on the Pura 80 Ultra is that interchangeable telephoto lens. There are dual optical sensors, one at 3.7 times with 50 megapixels and then one at 9.4 times at 12.5 megapixels. Huawei told me that the telephoto sensor on the Pura 80 Ultra is the same size as the main camera on the S25 Ultra, which is huge. What makes this a little bit different though is that it automatically switches lenses depending on what focal range you're trying to use.
I want to see if I can show you the sound it makes when it moves. Listen to the sound. Oh, it sounds so good.
The details that the telescope zoom captures are so good. It's a little slow in places, so if you're trying to capture anything moving, it's going to have a bit of a hard time. But if you're having some still subjects in frame, there are no complaints here. It's just a really good photo overall, and it captures, honestly, some great detail. But to show you how good this is, again, let's compare it to the S25 Ultra. And in the daytime, you might think there's not a huge difference between the two, unless you're really looking for it. And yeah, to be fair, it's pretty close. It's at night, though, where the Pura Pura 80 Ultra stands out. It captures much more details, the colors are more accurate to what I was seeing in real life, and there's noticeably less noise in the Pura 80 Ultra, even if it is doing a little bit of smoothing, which I'm not a huge fan of, but the photo still looks better. Giving the Pura 80 Ultra a bigger sensor in that optical zoom just means it is always going to beat something like the S25 Ultra, and I'll tell you something, I'm just really impressed by this. It's incredibly good at low light photography. But what about the rest of the specs? We know the cameras are good, but how else does this phone hold up? And of course, it's Huawei. It's going to hold up pretty well. It's got a 6.8-inch 120Hz display, which looks great. It's nice and bright as well. It has a peak brightness of 3000 nits. And the battery is pretty good as well. It has a 5170 milliamp hour battery that supports 100 watt Huawei supercharge and 80 watt wireless charging. And strangely, it has a side fingerprint reader rather than an ultrasonic one, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I have no idea what chip it's running because Huawei never want to tell us this, but it's most likely running the Kirin 9020. Sadly though, the biggest letdown here is the software. And it kind of doesn't matter how good that software actually performs because most people shouldn't buy this. I like the UI. It's intuitive, it's nice, it's quick, and it kind of looks familiar. But the biggest issue here is that there's still no Google Play services. And when I was recording this video, micro G didn't work, so you were kind of stuck. Sure, you can get Gbox, but I just don't think it's very stable. And I know there's definitely people out there that don't mind taking time to set this up, but quite honestly, it just takes far too much time. And I know that most people don't have that time. And of course, having no NFC payments, it just makes it really difficult. And the phone itself, I really like. The camera housing is huge, but I don't mind it because it packs a pretty decent set of cameras. And I'm a big fan of the cameras on the Pura 80 Ultra compared to the S25 Ultra. And the low light performance is genuinely really impressive. It just shows what cameras can be on a smartphone. And I wish someone like Samsung or Google would just really step up their game a little bit and give us what we know we can get. But sadly, I just don't imagine that many of the Pura 80 Ultras are gonna sell. Do I wish that I could daily the Pura 80 Ultra? Yeah, of course I do. The cameras on this are ridiculous, but there's just too much you have to give away to get better cameras. So I would actually rather have lower quality cameras and be able to use my phone without having to worry about it. Let me know what you think of the Pura 80 Ultra though. I wish I'd had a bit more time to play with this because the cameras are really impressive, but does that lack of Google Play services put you off? I imagine for most people, it definitely would. Before you head off, why not subscribe to the Android Authority channel? And if you do that, then I will see you somewhere in the next video.